Hi, I'm Jodie from Be Lovely Botanicals. I'm glad that you showed up for our Zoom meeting today. We're going to be talking about the benefits of beeswax skincare and the 5-minute hand care routine. Let me introduce myself and a little bit about my business to give you kind of an idea of my background. When I was in high school, I loved playing sports. And I actually played volleyball in college. I was good at it, something that I just really, really loved. And that kind of led me to becoming an athletic trainer. I have a degree in exercise science and athletic training because I was just always amazed at the body's ability to heal itself given the proper conditions. So, proper nutrients, proper rest, proper exercises, make sure that you don't have muscle strength or length discrepancies, those type of things can heal your body and keep you away from like hardcore painkillers and things like that. So that's kind of why I wanted to become an athletic trainer. I worked for a few years in different high schools and in physical therapy clinics. When I had my first son, my husband and I talked about it, and we decided that it was really important for us to have me stay home with him while he was little. So we rolled back our budget, and I stayed home with my oldest son. In 2007, I had my second son, or 2007. And my husband was a teacher at the local high school. He ran the ag science program. And during the recession of 2008, they cut the program and he lost his job. So we were fortunate that he was able to find another job, but it was a huge pay cut. The insurance was terrible. There was no way that without me bringing some money into our family, having some sort of income, that I would be able to continue to be a stay-at-home mom. And then in 2009, we had our third son. So here I am with two little boys and one little bit older little boy, looking for some way to bring some income in and still be able to have be a stay-at-home mom. In 2008, before my husband got laid off, we didn't know any of these things that were going to happen. We found, or 2007, before I had my second son, I was pregnant with him. We found a wild swarm of bees in the bottom of a tree in the front of our property. And they were a really gentle swarm, and there was a log right next to it. So my oldest son and I would go sit out there every day, and we would just watch the bees come and go, see their little pollen baskets full of pollen. And it was really interesting to see the bees close up. So that winter, after I had my son, while I was nursing the baby, we would go to the library and check out all the bee books that we could find. And then I would nurse the baby and read the books. And the more that I learned about bees, the more intrigued I became. We learned like bees have personalities. Each hive has kind of a different personality. They can actually recognize faces. They're very, very clean animals. They won't go to the bathroom in the hive. They wait and fly out. Even in winter, they'll hold it unless they're sick. They'll hold it all winter. And then the first warm day, they'll all fly out and go to the bathroom. And there's a social structure and like kind of a promotion order with bees. So it was just amazing to me, the intelligence that God put even into a bug. So of course, the next spring we had to get some bees. We got 2 hives in 2008. And along the way, when you're reading all these books, they tell you how great beeswax is for your skin and all the different types of soap and things you can make with the products that you get out of your beehive. So of course I had to give that a try too. So we had this extra honey, and we had soap and skincare and different things at home. When my husband got laid off, I realized that I needed to bring some money in, and I didn't feel like, since I had just had my third son, that I wanted to go back to work and take them to daycare. So I prayed about it, and God kind of revealed this farmer's market booth with like all different kinds of things, pieces for a display and different products and things that I could take to the farmer's market. And we're blessed to live within driving distance of one of the 10 best farmers markets in the state. So in 2009 on Labor Day, we took our products to the farmer's market, and that was the first time that we ever really kind of debuted our business. Here's kind of a fun fact on the side. I was talking to my husband about it and saying, I think we should do this, but what will we call our business? And his kind of canned response for almost anything that I say to him is whatever you want, honey. So the first couple farmers markets that we went to, that was our business name, Whatever You Want Honey, because we had honey granola, honey bread, beeswax, skincare, lip balm, soap, all kinds of stuff. So it was basically anything that you could think of that you could make with something from a beehive, we had it. As the boys grew, we slowly expanded our business. I've learned a ton about cosmetic chemistry and natural formulating, preservative systems, emulsions, all kinds of things like that. And our product range has changed a little bit from the beginning, but that's kind of how we got to where we are now. That's how our business developed. I obviously don't get to do as much athletic training as I used to. I do have 3 sons, so I can check for concussions and broken bones and things like that, you know, maybe a little more than I would like to, but I don't get to talk athletic training as much as I would like. So this is kind of a treat for me to be able to share the information that I know, and hopefully it'll be really helpful for you. So all of our hand creams come with this. It's the 5-minute hand care routine. It's a little brochure that I designed, and it's just stretches and massage to help you avoid a repetitive strain injury. In case you're unaware, a repetitive strain injury is pretty much, you know, exactly what it sounds like. It's an injury that comes to strain, means it's in your soft tissue, your muscles or your tendons, and it's from a repetitive motion. So let me tell you a little bit about the anatomy of your hand and your wrist. So right here is your carpal tunnel, and all of your wrist flexors are here in your forearm, and they go, these tendons and some nerves go through this carpal tunnel right here. There's a little bony prominence here and here, and the tendons and nerves go through here, and then they're covered over with a retinaculum. A retinaculum is kind of like a ligament. So it's just something gristly that's hard, it's not really stretchy, that holds something in place. So that retinaculum goes from here to here, and basically what it does is it holds those tendons. If you think about it, when you bend your wrist, where's the shortest point between these two, right? It would be a straight line right here. But when you bend your wrist, you don't want your tendons popping out and have your skin all stretched out to here. You know, that would be really weird and really difficult to use your hand if your skin was stretched out. So God gave us a retinaculum, and that keeps those tendons up against your hands so that when you do this, they stay in here. It's a little bit longer of a route, but they stay up against your hand when you flex your wrist. That's why the retinaculum is there. The only trouble is, because it's against bone and this not really stretchy retinaculum, that if you overuse or you get an injury to any of these tendons, that's going to cause swelling. That's just a natural reaction. It's meant to protect your body, but because it's in an enclosed area, that swelling starts to put pressure on nerves. It can actually put pressure on other tendons, which causes more swelling, and it kind of is a downward spiral once you start getting swelling in an enclosed area like that. So the whole idea with this is, when you use your hand cream, you think of it as kind of a mental cue to remember to do a few stretches so that you can avoid repetitive strain injury, because we use our hands a lot. I don't do a whole lot of fiber arts. I do a ton of typing. So, you know, I do these stretches too. You really, if you want to keep doing the things that you love to do with your hands, you really do have to invest a little bit of time into stretching and protecting them so you don't end up with a repetitive strain injury. So this is our hand cream. This one right here, I have the lemon verbena, and this is organic oils, water, beeswax, and probiotics. As you can see, I'll show you here, it's super, super thick. That's because of the beeswax right there. And a pea-sized amount is all you really need for both hands. So you're going to put a pea-sized amount on, and you're going to kind of rub it into your skin. And every time you use your hand cream, you're going to use this as a mental cue to do a few stretches. So we're going to start with a hand massage. The first thing that we're going to do is massage right here. So this is called the thenar eminence in your hand. It's the muscles that runs your thumb. So anytime you grip something, you know, go to turn a doorknob, anytime you use anything, hold on to anything, you're going to be using these muscles right here. So we're just going to want to gently kind of rub them, and you can rub as hard or as light as is comfortable for you. You flip your hand and use the fingers on the back of your hand to kind of get that muscle from the other side, right there between your thumb and index finger. You're just going to massage that. And when that feels good, then we're going to come over here and we're going to do, this one is called the hypothenar eminence, which just means that it's a little bit smaller and opposite of the thenar eminence. And we're just going to kind of pinch and roll right along the pinky side up to the pinky. And then we're going to move into the middle of the hand and get in between those finger bones. These are called the interossei muscles, and they help your fingers to do this. So we're just going to gently do the front and the back in between. Massage those muscles. And then we're going to start one finger at a time, and we're just going to gently kind of roll the finger. Can you see how I'm wiggling it just a little bit back and forth in my other hand like that? And there's a reason and a really therapeutic benefit to do that, just that slight motion. So your joint capsules, they are what surrounds your joint, kind of holds everything in place, and they are filled with what's called synovial fluid. So the synovial fluid swishes around in your joints, and it nourishes the cartilage and keeps everything moving smoothly in there. When you wiggle like this just a little bit, it's just kind of mobilizing that joint and swishing that fluid around so that everything is going to move a little bit smoother. Your cartilage is going to be nourished a little bit when you do that. And then we'll finish with the thumb. And then you would do the other hand. Same thing, you can start with, on the thumb side, the thenar eminence, and you're just going to gently massage. And then you're going to go over to the hypothenar eminence on the other side, on the pinky side. Just grab that and pinch it and roll it a little bit. And then we'll roll our fingers, just like we did on the other side. I actually dislocated my pinky finger when I was playing volleyball in college. And I was really fortunate. It doesn't quite extend all the way, but I was fortunate that it didn't rupture the tendon completely, because I was really lucky that it didn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be able to straighten that pinky out. And we'll do the thumb. And then the next stretch is the thumb stretch. So you're just going to put your hands like this, your fingers facing opposite direction and your thumbs opposing each other, and gently push. And if you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can kind of turn your thumbs toward your chest and push down. And you should feel a nice stretch right in here on both thumbs, just like that. When you do a stretch, there's a difference between plastic and elastic deformation. So if you think of a piece of elastic versus a plastic bag, when you stretch the elastic and you let go, it goes back to the same length. And you stretch the elastic and you let go, it goes back to the same length. If you have a plastic bag and you took it and you punched a hole and stretched it out and you took your hand out, that stretch mark would still be in there because you've actually changed the way that the bag is. It's not going to go back to its original shape. That's kind of what happens with our muscles when we stretch. If you hold the stretch for less than 30 seconds, it's called elastic deformation, meaning that you're stretching the muscle, but you're not really going to lengthen it. It's going to kind of go back to the same length that it was before. If you want to have plastic deformation, or if you actually want to stretch that muscle so that it becomes longer than it was before, you have to hold it for 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds to get that muscle to actually lengthen out. That being said, you do not have to hold these stretches for 30 seconds if it's in any way uncomfortable. Do what's comfortable for you, and it doesn't matter how long you hold it. Even 5 or 10 seconds is going to help unzip those muscle fibers and nourish the joints and stretch the nerves a little bit. So do what's comfortable for you. I'm suggesting 30 seconds just to get a little bit better of a stretch, but if it's in any way uncomfortable, then don't do it, okay? Because we want you to prevent a repetitive strain injury, not cause one. So we did the thumbs. The next stretch is a flexion and extension stretch. So I'm gonna turn this way and show you. You're just gonna put your arm, and you do not have to have your shoulder up like this. You can do this with it down at your side. I'm doing this so you can see it on the camera, but if you are uncomfortable with your shoulders, or you have a shoulder injury, or your rotator cuff is, irritated, anything like that, just leave your arm down and pull your fingers back. It works just as good. So basically what you're gonna do is keep your elbow straight. You're gonna pull your fingers back like this, as far back as you can. And you're gonna feel a stretch in your palm maybe, and kind of maybe here in your carpal tunnel, and then all those flexor muscles insert here on your forearm. So you're gonna feel a nice stretch on the bottom of your forearm. And again, you do not want to do this if it's uncomfortable. It should just feel like a nice, comfortable stretch. You don't have to push yourself, and you don't have to go till you feel any type of pain, or, if you notice any numbness or tingling in your fingers, then that means that you're putting a little bit of pressure on that nerve, and you should probably back off. So this is the flexion, and we'll do both sides like that. Oh, that side, I think I got a little bit of tightness in my right hand, which is, that makes sense because I'm right-handed and that's my dominant hand. So of course I'm using it more. And those muscles are probably stronger and a little bit shorter than the ones on my left-hand side. And then we're gonna do extension. For the extension, you're just gonna gently pull your wrist down, and then you can kind of curl your fingers under till it feels comfortable for you. And you're gonna be feeling a stretch in the front of your hand, the top of your wrist, and the top of your arm here, because those extensors, just like the flexors, the extensors come across the top of your arm and insert up here by your elbow. So just like that. And then we'll do the other side like that. And again, this side quite a bit tighter. You can really feel that a lot more on my right side than my left. Okay, and then we're just gonna put your fingers so that they're all opposing each other, and you're gonna press your hands together like this. Now, to get more of a stretch, if you lower your hands like this, you're going to feel more of a stretch. And you can even lower them till your palms aren't together and just your fingers are touching. And that just gives your hand flexors, your finger flexors, another really nice stretch. You want to try to keep your knuckles straight when you're doing that. And hold that one if you can for 30 seconds. And if it's uncomfortable, you don't have to hold it for that long. Okay, then the last exercise that I have in the 5-minute hand care routine is shoulder rolls. And the reason that we do shoulder rolls is because all of the nerves that feed our hands and our arms, they come down from our neck, through our shoulders, down through our elbows, through our wrists, into our hands. So anywhere where you have like a little bit of a muscle knot or a little bit of a pinch can cause issues in your hand. So, you can have a problem with your neck, a problem with your shoulder, a problem with your elbow, a problem with your wrist, and that all can refer pain to your hand. Or you could have an actual injury in your hand that could cause pain in your hand. So anywhere up the chain can cause issues. So we're just going to do a few shoulder rolls just to try to relax those traps. We'll do 10 backwards. I actually wasn't counting. I think this is probably about 10. And then we'll do 10 forward. So you're just going to roll back, lift up, roll forward, and then depress. Just like that. And then this isn't in the hand care routine, but it's just a really good stretch. You just tip your head, sit up nice and straight, tip your head to the side, and you should feel a nice stretch here in the side of your neck. You shouldn't feel any numbness or tingling or pulling or anything like that. It just should be a nice stretch in the muscles on the side of your neck, just like that. And like I said, you can hold that for 30 to 60 seconds, but if it's uncomfortable, then just stop where it's comfortable. You don't have to hold it for that long. And then we'll try this side. That actually feels really nice. And then I'm going to show you one more. Just the way that our lives are nowadays, you work on the computer a lot, do maybe reading on a tablet, you maybe are doing your fiber arts while you're sitting in the chair. A lot of even just sitting isn't good for you. But a lot of times what happens is we kind of get like a rounded slouch back. So if you look, when I do that, now when I'm looking straight ahead, I'm looking at the floor. So in order, if my posture isn't quite right, in order for me to be looking straight ahead, I have to look up like this. When you do this for a while, what happens is these little muscles here in your neck actually start to get shortened. So I'm going to show you just a nice easy stretch to kind of help that. Just sit up nice and tall, and then you're going to put your chin down and kind of tuck it back just like that, and then just look to the ground a little bit. And you should feel just a real nice stretch right here, kind of in the middle of your neck, maybe up here kind of by the bottom of your head right here. You just should feel a real nice, comfortable stretch. That's really a really good stretch for everybody nowadays, just because we don't have as much physical activity, and a lot of sitting and a lot of sedentary activity oftentimes leads to these little neck muscles shortening up in the back there. And that one too, you can hold for 30 seconds if it's comfortable. So that is the 5-minute hand care routine, plus a couple stretches, that comes with all of our hand cream whenever you order it. And now let me tell you a little bit about our hand cream. So here I have our lemon verbena beeswax hand cream. And I showed you how thick it was. We use organic oils in this. Then we also use water. And I know a lot of people think that water is kind of a filler ingredient and that you just use it because it's free, but that's not true. Water is really important in your skincare because the cells in your skin absorb water. So when they're nice and plump and they absorb water, they butt up next to each other just like this. So they form a really good barrier. When your skin starts to get dehydrated, those little cells start to shrivel up, kind of like a raisin, and they move away from each other. Now this space in between my fingers here, that's gonna look like a wrinkle from the outside, so it's not real pretty. And it's also going to impact the barrier function of your skin. Obviously, you know, a barrier like this is not, or is way better than a barrier like this. So adding water to your skincare, what it's going to do is it's going to plump those little proteins up so they butt up right next to each other and they form a really good barrier between your body and the outside world. And then ingredients like pharmacy grade lanolin, beeswax, and cocoa butter are going to seal and lock that moisture into your skin. It is actually more expensive for us to use water in our products because then you have to learn how to do emulsification, adding oils and water, because they don't like each other and they don't want to mix, which is, there's a lot of chemistry behind that. But then you also need a preservation system, which it's a difficult thing. It's not just simple. I seriously devoted years of my life to learning about cosmetic preservatives and testing different things in our hand cream. We actually use a preservative right now that is made from probiotics. So it's good for your skin and it's good for your body. We don't use parabens. We don't use anything like phenoxyethanol that can be an endocrine disruptor. So that's kind of the benefits of our hand cream. Oh, one more benefit that I think is really important with using water in your skincare is that it allows you to use active ingredients like hyaluronic acid, peptides, which are just little pieces of different proteins. And the way that they're used in the body, they can help your body to increase collagen production or increase fat expression. Each peptide does a little bit different things, you know, like with our eye cream, we use a peptide that's actually made from a passion flower. Excuse me, it's been clinically tested to decrease the appearance of dark circles because it influences your body to help reabsorb the blood that's pooled under your eyes. And that's why you get dark circles, because that skin is so thin that even just a little bit of extra blood looks really dark because the skin is so thin. So these peptides do all different things. You can also have allantoin, things like organic green tea extract. A lot of really good skin loving ingredients are water soluble and if you're only using an all oil product, you're just missing out on a ton of benefits that your skincare could be providing. So I think that that's basically what I wanted to tell you. If anybody has any questions, now would be a perfect time to ask. And if you look in the chat, there is a link to our email sign up. I want to make sure that everybody hears me when I say this. There's a link to the email sign up. When you sign up for our newsletter, you get $5 off your first order. So click on the link, fill in your name and your information. I think I might have your birth date on there because we'd like to send everybody a birthday card. Not too many people have filled that out though. A little gift, you know, a little surprise on your birthday, but seems like that's not something that people want to reveal. So you don't have to put it in there if you don't want to. But do sign up for the email and you can get $5 off your first order. And then you'll be signed up for a newsletter. So you'll hear about different ingredients that we use in our skincare, any sales and promotions. Sometimes we talk about how our bees have been doing and send some really pretty pictures of our bees. So it's just kind of a fun, interesting newsletter. And you get $5 off your first order. So make sure you click on the link in the chat and sign up for the coupon code. And then don't forget, if you order any beeswax hand cream this weekend while Stitches is going on, we're going to send you this 5-minute hand care routine for free. So that's just an added bonus. Yeah, so I guess thank you for coming to our first ever Zoom class, and I really appreciate it. And let me know if you have any questions, and please reach out to me, you know, via email or Facebook or Instagram if you'd like to know anything else. Thank you.